Pipe Network presents.
The views and opinions of the host and the guests do not reflect the views and opinions of the institutions they belong to. Welcome sa isa na namang kwentuhan at balita ng mga pananaw tungkol sa life and everything that goes with it. Dito sa Kwentuhang Pilosopo with Sir Ice. Layunin ng show na ito na gawing bahagi ng pang-araw-araw na buhay ng karaniwang tao, ang gawain ng pagmumuni at pamimilosopiya. Kaya let's go mga peeps, it's Muni time!
Alright, magandang araw mga Philo Peeps. Ito na naman, may bago na naman tayong episode. Kasama ngayon ang isa sa mga fresh faces na nakikita natin tuwing umaga sa ANC, no? Si Miss Nikki de Guzman. Hi, Nikki.
Talaga? Parang hindi naman fresh. Ang top face.
Parang
ibang context ng fresh to you.
Parang laging naka-foundation eh.
Actually, nagsabi nga sa akin yan. Parang laging sumalangit.
Oo nga. Nagiging problema ba yan sa
sa timpla, sa TV,
Oo, yung pag sobrang maputi.
Usually, pinapaupo ako a little earlier than everyone else kasi kailangan nilang timplahin yung kulay as compared to other people who use the studio. And kahit ako pag mag-isa, like work from home na studio ko, tagal ko bago inaayos yung ilaw ko. And it depends pa sa araw kasi katabi ko, window.
So may
the
natural light
seeps through. So depende yan. Minsan mas maganda yung ilaw ko kapag madilim, makulimlim. Mas maganda yung lighting ko pag gano'n. Pag maaraw,
yung kurtina?
Yung kurtina ko kasi, wala lang. Gusto ko medyo light colored.
Okay.
Pinapahirapan ko rin yung sarili. But
siguro,
yeah.
alright. So, again, we are all very happy to have you here on the show. No? Kasi I think you're the fourth news person that I've interviewed. No, I've had Mav Gonzalez, Gretchen Ho was a former student, a colleague of mine, Seb Sarmenta naman sa sports, and now you. No, so ewan ko ba kung bakit puro mga taga-Bali. Si Howie Severino din pala was part of the show in season 1. No, so ewan ko, no, pero parang may affinity ako sa news people kasi parang I'm also into current events, no, and trying to reflect and try to understand ano ba nangyayari sa buhay natin mga Pilipino.
Right, essential naman talaga yun.
Right. So as a young person, na I think kailan ka ba nag-grad para lang sa kaalaman
2018.
2018. Background naman, what was college like?
College, I just, I wouldn't say breeze through it, pero talagang dinaanan ko lang siya sa buhay ko. I did not feel inclined toward any specific program, ganon. Pero, kasi, I guess, it was because totally different yung plinano ko for my life. I grew up raised by a doctor. So, my entire life, I told myself, I'd be one pag-graduate ko. When it came to choosing courses, sa UP lang ako nauwi sa ibang course. And I kind of took it as a sign kasi I've always wanted to study in UP. Kasi my dad is from there as well. Sabi ko, bakit kaya sa lahat, all the other, of the 4 schools, the other schools, I got in sa mga pre-med, except for UP. Because I got sa comm course. My second choice was always comm. Kasi sabi ko, well, my mom took up comm. And sabi ko rin, you're never gonna be, okay, how do I put this more eloquently? Pero hindi ka mauubusan ng mapupuntahan when you're a comm graduate. Because communication is important everywhere. Lahat ng kumpanya, there's a communications department. So, it's pretty much way easier to find a job and then to get better at it and then get promoted. So because it's a pretty simple plan for anyone alam mo na, doesn't have a fixed plan pa for themselves. I was in college.
Yeah.
Ayun. So, I started out, yun nga. So, I took up organizational communication, which is pretty much a fancy name for business comm.
Oh.
Told myself, sige, lilipat ako. Right
Ah,
after a year, lilipat ako.
lumipat ka nga.
No, I did not.
Hindi ka lumipat.
Kasi, after a year, I realized, hey, this course is actually working for me. Not in a sense na I could really see a future na ito na yung magiging eksakto ng trabaho. But sabi ko, why is it na parang I'm kind of doing well with this course? Maybe I am a person who was made for communications. Kaya, tinuloy ko. And then, I realized na, okay, if I do a good job sa college life ko, I'll end up graduating with, Latin honors, and then I'll make it into a good company, and then I do my best to, climb the ranks. Ganun lang kasimple. Tapos, kaya I would always say it was parang an act of God. That's how I got my job. Kasi, as I graduated, although if kids are listening, students are listening, I've always liked studying. It was never really about my grades. I like learning.
Okay.
Yeah, even nung grade school ako. That's why school wasn't really a chore for me. Kasi natutuwa akong nag-aaral. Weird ba?
Birang-bira akong makarinig ng estudyante.
Anyway, sige, kung hindi kayo natutuwa mag-aral, just think na ang laki talaga, yung sinasabi nila, it sounds so cliche na, yung edukasyon mo, napaka-importante niyan, ganyan, walang makakakuha sa'yo niyan. It's so true Kasi when you know na you have, yung education, the kind of education you have is exceptional, most likely, lalo na in a country like this, parang it gives you a certain air of confidence that you don't really get from anything else. Not from money, not from status. Yeah, kaya ako, bata pa lang ako, grade school pa lang, I've always liked learning. Parang, you gotta learn something new every day. And I'm not really an active person, di ako palalabas. So I just read a lot, watch a lot, ganon. So, pagdating ko sa college, kahit hindi ko ganun kagusto yung course ko, it's okay. Kasi lagi akong, okay lang yan, matutunan akong bago dyan.
Ang ganda ng attitude na yan, no? Gusto ko lang mag-comment about that, na even though you're put in a set of circumstances na parang not ideal or not really planned out or parang di mo naman talaga masyado trip, laging nandun yung opportunity to learn something new.
Yes,
so parang you're never really in a bad spot. Diba? There's always something to pick up from whatever experience.
You know what they say, yung you either win or you learn. You never really lose.
Totoo yan.
Kasi hanggang may buhay ka pa, you still have time. And then what is losing anyway? I think the perception, how you perceive growth, that's what defines you talaga. So ako, I figured, okay, hindi ko naman kontrolado ang lahat ng bagay sa buhay. Yes, I wanted to be a doctor, pero I also took into consideration lahat, financial side of it. Kasi I wasn't born, I was born in a rich family. I actually tried to send myself to school. I was a working student. I had a lot of side jobs. And at puti na lang din, mura ang tuition, beauty.
Anong mga jobs yan? Anong mga jobs?
And then nawalan pa ng tuition after the law was passed na. Okay, what are these jobs? Sorry, ang dami natin.
Baka na-meet ka ng mga tao. Uy, parang show.
Okay. I did commercial modeling. Marami akong may TV commercials.
Pwede mo bang sabihin kung ano?
Here, pwede naman. Basta these were teenage products. Yeah.
Okay.
Juvenile stages of my life. Care line, makeup, Palmolive, soap, yung whitening. Ano pa ba? Para bagay, di ba?
Ang daya naman nun.
Parang cologne, mga ganon. So, and then, makeup artistry. I did that for mga graduation shoots. I would do other people's makeup. I did pageantry for a while, but not the kind of pageants you have in mind. Mostly searches for ambassadors. Alam mo yung certain companies or brand products na naghahanap ng someone to represent their brand. who would be a good
Okay.
spokesperson, who would look the part and, talk well on behalf of the company. Ganon. So, kaya mga sinasabihan. Kasi I come from a very conservative family. Atakin sa puso yung dad. So,
Ganon.
yun. So, alam mo yun,
Mm.
life has been pretty challenging for me. And
Dami mo nang
siguro,
pinagdaanan.
bata pa lang ako, natuto na ako na, you know what, I can't control life. It's just wherever I'm put, I do my best. Ganun na lang. And I guess, parang nirewardan ako ni God with my job. Kasi I was always lost for most of my life. Pero pag graduate ko, I sent out applications to the biggest companies I know. But I would always prioritize the ones na closest sa vicinity ng house ko, which was GMA and ABS. Kasi malapit talaga. I would say 10 minutes away. With traffic, heavy traffic, 30 minutes away. So, ang unang sumagot was ABS. And then they had an opening for news and entertainment. So, dalawa lang yun.
Okay.
I didn't really want to go sa entertainment kasi my mom would always say na baka gusto ko try mag-showbiz because kind of bubbly, the personality is there, the confidence is there kasi walang iya akong tao eh.
Hindi lang halata minsan.
Pero which is why I was comfortable with the commercial modeling part, although it just wasn't for me. I was doing it because it was lucrative. Yeah. So pagdating ko doon, ko na let's try news para mas gusto ko kasi yung structure. Diba? When you like learning, so may formation, may structure, hindi ka masyadong maraket as a person. I like stability, gano'n.
Yes.
So what happened was, like, sige, news tayo. Of course, the positions that were open were both PA, which is production assistant, kasi entry level. And I totally understood that. Kasi for any company out there, siyempre you're a fresh grad, diba?
Yeah.
So, sabi ko, great. Kasi more things to learn. But then, stars aligned. The very day I was asked to show up for an interview was the day na auditions were ongoing for an anchor.
Wow.
Kasi, apparently, the graveyard anchor of ANC was promoted kasi another anchor left the station. So, there was a vacant slot and the auditions were ongoing, pero they were internal.
Okay.
Hindi naman sa internal, pero ang mga sinasali, mostly news producers, long-time news producers, news writers, hosts pala. It was also open to event hosts. It was open to analysts, mga stock market analysts who spoke well enough to be on TV. And then, well, nandun na ako eh. And then I was asked na, you know what, Nikki,
try mo na.
Oh, exactly, ganun. How are you in front of a camera? Kasi parang they read my CV and then sabi nila, you have experience sa harap ng camera. So, yeah, I did a few commercials as a teen, ganun. Medyo kinahihiya ko pa siya before. But sabi ko, you know what, own it. Diba?
Magagamit naman pala eh.
Turns out, ayun, and then they had me to a screen test. They just looked at how I presented myself in front of the camera. Had me read the prompter. It was the first time I ever saw a prompter. Ganun pala.
Naalala mo pa ba kung anong pinabasa sa'yo?
It was parang news headlines lang. The biggest news within the hour. Tapos, may sports. I remember in particular the sports. Kasi, part of a news anchor's job is to make sure you know how everything is pronounced. Yeah. So, bawa, Marin Cilic. Diba? That's athlete. Yung spelling ng Cilic is Cilic. That's Cilic. Diba? You wouldn't know if you don't watch sports or you don't research. I'm not a sporty person, as mentioned before. Di ako palalabas. So, my sports is chess. If you could even consider that.
Wow. Sport yun. Sport yun.
Ayun. Anyway, I do chess. Tapos, ayun. So, ni-research ko yun before I aired. Tapos, ano pa ba? Impromptu interview with, I think si Francis Tolentino ata. But it wasn't really him. Like, they would just test you.
Kunyari.
What would you ask him? Okay, so a presidential cabinet meeting has just ended. What would you ask the secretary? Ganon. So you come up with questions at the top of your head. Ganon. Tapos after nun, thank you. Ganon. Tara,
Ganun
thank
lang.
you. So
Okay.
I think 2 weeks passed. So I really didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
Kasi I'm not the kind of person who expects much out of life. Kasi para hindi ka na disappoint. You understand? Alam mo yun?
Sobrang gets
Parang,
ko yan.
kaya
Sobrang
chill lang
gets
ako
ko
sa
yan.
buhay eh. I tried my very
Yes.
best in everything. I never do anything half-baked. Pero I understand very well na in life, there are just so many things we don't control. So parang, hinayaan ko yun. Hinayaan ko lang, okay, hindi wala. Hindi wala. PA naman talagang,
Yun naman
diba?
talaga pinunta mo dun eh.
Okay naman ako. Tapos sabi ko, fresh grad naman. Bakit naman nila pagkakatiwala sa akin? So, but I did worry kasi it was 2 weeks and wala ring result for the PA application. So what I did was,
okay.
so what I did was, pumunta ako sa HR and then I asked about my application sa PA. Kasi sabi ko, gusto na po. Kasi gusto ko rin po actually mag-work agad. Kasi after graduating, nagpahinga ako for a month lang. I wanted to work agad for the family. So, ayun, sabi, sorry Miss Nikki, upon checking, hindi ka na daw kasi pala for PA, for anchor na. Hinihintay na namin yung mga requirements mo. Ayun, so doon ko lang nalaman.
Hindi ka nila sinabihan?
It's like they forgot. But yeah.
Sino yung nag-graveyard shift?
Meron naman silang parang
temporary
na nakahati ko. Kasi they never really give you a full graveyard shift. What they do is, hati yun. 2 anchors always pag graveyard. Tapos you have other jobs on the side. You know? Ito ito funny. Si GMA, biglang na sumagot sa application ko a year later, rejecting me. for the PA application.
For the PA.
A year after. I kind of wanted to reply na, it's fine. Don't worry. I'm an anchor now.
Manood kayo ng graveyard shift ng ANC.
All's fine. All's well. Ganun.
Your loss.
Pero di ko, anyway, so yun ang nangyari. And then, fast forward tayo sa how I was during my first few weeks.
Catch the Pizarro Tales weekly as we tackle issues about education and share experiences about teaching. Hosted by Jay Australia, available on your favorite podcast platforms.
If you liked our show and you want to show your support, please consider buying us a coffee. Check out the link on the description below. And don't forget to mention the name of this show when buying a coffee so we know it's for us. Thank you.
Siyempre, maganda rin yung graveyard ka kasi you really learn the ropes. Although I did wish na dumaan din ako sa PA kasi you know the interface of the iNews, meron kasi kaming news portal, yung ganun. Kasi when you're an anchor, parang start ka agad sa how you have to project yourself, diba, sa camera. Yes. May difference din kasi at least yung PA, you start with how everything operates. Kasama na rin yung how the anchor is watching the anchor. Kasi a lot of people start there. So, sayang din na I didn't get to. But there were a lot of times I go to the studio just so I can observe other anchors. And I started watching more news. Back kasi when I was in college, I had utterly no dreams of being in news. It just so happened. But I was in UP, so I've always been involved in what was happening sa country. I've always cared, kumbaga, sa marami rin akong pinaglalaban sa buhay. But I never saw myself na, ayun, pupunta sa TV, doing the news talaga, and working sa news. So yun, I started there, watching other anchors, how they present themselves. Because apparently, isa rin pala yun sa kung bakit napili ako. When you're a host daw kasi, and you deliver the news, it sounds too informal. Ganon.
Ah.
So, I was watching other anchors so I can learn how they talk na medyo formal. Alam mo yun?
Gets.
Yeah.
Kasi parang
Good enough
isipin
for
ng mga
news.
tao masyadong, parang ang bata naman itong
Oo.
nagbabalita.
Yes.
Ba't ako magtitiwala dito? Parang
Exactly.
ganyan.
Pati yung, you have to have, at the very least, a commanding tone. Like, no, not commanding, authoritative. Ganon.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Yeah. So someone you trust when she tells you stuff. Ganon. Tapos, I had to work on how I looked then. Because, man, at the age of 22, before, yung bago ako mag-graduate, I would still get roles for 16-year-olds sa commercials. Kasi
mukha ka talagang bata. Actually, mukha ka talagang bata.
I got that from my mom. Alam mo yun? Basta, si jeans
Baby
namin
face.
mga kami bata. So, ayun, I had to dress appropriately. My wardrobe from college was t-shirts and jeans and sweaters.
Lahat naman tayo.
Wala talaga akong so I had to overhaul yung wardrobe ko, buy some pearls, buy a lot of blazers and heels. Yun. So, inayos ko naman yung buhay ko. Don't you worry. So, ayun, pagdating ko sa graveyard shift was pretty chill. Talagang, it was the top of every hour.
Malamang gravy.
The news.
Chill na
So
chill.
parang uupo ka every hour for just 5 minutes to tell everyone what happened around the world. So dahil graveyard siya, I suppose yung pinakauna kong mga challenges were I had to monitor what was happening sa US. Kasi, di ba? Baliktad
yung
ang
time
mundo.
zone.
The interesting things are happening at the other side of the world. Which is yung US. So, ayun. So, doon ako mas nakatutok kapag meron silang Senate hearings, yung on Trump, yung sa pandaraya sa elections, ganun. Ayun. Yun yung mga nire-recap ko. So, I would listen to it. So, 3 hours ko nakaupo. I just type. Ganun. Kasi you have to recap it as soon as it ends. Tapos, pero pagdating kasi ng 5 a.m., my shift kasi was 10 to 5. Pagdating ng 5 a.m., you have a 30-minute show recapping everything that happened while people were asleep. Yeah, so it's nice, no? Parang nice concept. So, pag gising sa umaga ng 5 a.m., yun, sasabihin ko sa'yo lahat ng na-miss mo habang tulog ka. Ganon.
Nahirapan ka ba dun syempre yung adjustment sa tulog. So, paano nangyari doon? So, gising ka ng madaling araw.
Yeah. Medyo nahirapan ako doon kasi I don't sleep late. Back in college, it was always a parang topic of discussion na, grabe, ilang oras ka natulog? Ilang hours? Grabe, ako 2 hours lang. Ako 4 hours. Swerte mo pa. Ganun. Ako, I always made sure na I had, at the very least, 6 hours of sleep. At the very least. Kasi, haba naman yung araw eh.
Okay.
I always found time na maisingit lahat ng kailangan kong aralin within the day. So, I'd have more sleep. So, kaya nung
hindi ka nagka-cram.
Yeah, hindi na naman ako party person. So, hindi ako lumalabas ng gabi. Talagang tulog na ako pagdating ng 11. Yung shift ko starts at 10. So, it was really an adjustment sa akin. But, yun, I only got promoted from the graveyard shift when the graveyard shift was dissolved during the pandemic. Tapos, I had to step up kasi syempre, kahit newbie anchor ako, I was paired kasi with Tony Velasquez, who is, who is a veteran sa buong
medyo odd
industry.
yung pairing na yun.
You know why? Because he's so close to me. Kasi we have the same humor, we have the same interests. Kaya super close kami ni Sir Tony. Ngayon, he was paired to me. Tapos, so, all of a sudden, from being a graveyard anchor, I was interviewing the biggest names in government. Diba? DOH, gano'n. So I had to step up talaga. Although prior to that naman, hinihiram na ako for stock market. I would, as a stock market reporter, not an anchor reporter. So I would go there, tapos ganun din. I would give yung reports kay Cathy Yang. She's still with us then. Tapos yun. I think that was the hardest part. So, yung para sa akin, yung PSE. Kasi, regardless, kahit business com yung inaral ko, mahirap
Hindi ko rin maintindihan yan eh.
Mahirap i-visualize the inflow, the outflow of millions of pesos when you don't have them.
Totoo.
Ganun. When you don't have them. Pero, yeah, they trained me for just 2 days and then salang.
Wow.
So after 2 days,
fast learner ka naman.
Sinabi lang talaga sa akin, Nikki, this is the website you go to. Tapos you look at the percentage, you calculate kung gaano ko bumababa. Tapos ganun. Tapos for the company releases, ganun din. I-search mo yung nirelease nila from last year and then you do this math equation. I-type mo sa calculator. Pag nakuha mo yung percentage na ibinaba, you do mo sa ganun-ganon.
Oh my God.
Madami silang tinuro. So what I did was, talagang sinulat ko siya sa isang notebook and inaaral ko talaga siya how to do it. Para every time they need someone to sub in, ang papalit ako, kaya ko.
Wow.
Doon ako pinaka nahirapan. Kasi the interviews are, I don't know, kapag machika ng tao, it's not really...
yun naman issue yan.
Kaya yung interviews, what I do is just, I research then, siyempre, about what questions I could ask. Pero, ayun, pinaka nahirapan ako sa PST kasi there's a lot of things to do. And then, every second nag-change yung stickers. Yung parang kanina up yung market. So, na-prepare mo na yung report mo. Tapos biglang 5 minutes bago mag-close yung trading. Okay. Trading closes, biglang negative na, okay, now we're negative territory apparently. I know.
So, Nikki, itong pagiging bahagi mo ng mundo ng media, news, etc. Ano yung, let's limit it to 3 things, no? 3 bagay na natutunan mo tungkol sa sarili mo at sa ibang tao, no, na pwede mong ibahagi sa mga nakikinig. In your everyday dealings with, syempre, may mga malalaking tao rin
mga
dyan.
Ganyan pa pala. Top 3 things.
Wala lang. Naisip ko lang yun. Kasi baka, para may 3
Ako kasi I've always believed na you should know yourself more than anyone. So, bata pa lang ako, I always knew kung anong gusto ko. I always knew myself. Mahirap man i-decide yun. I never fixated on the things I wanted because, as I said, life usually has different plans. But I always knew kung sino ako. Parang I always know my abilities, kung anong kaya ko at hindi. For example, I know na I cannot drive and I should not drive. Because I will die. I will die from it. I know.
Hanggang ngayon?
Yeah, I know myself. Basta, kung hindi man ako mamamatay, makakapatay ako. So,
pero na-try mo.
I'm saving the community.
Na-try mo naman.
I guess pinahawak ko ng manibela. Parang, nope.
Paano mo nalaman? Kahit hindi ka naman
I can't even ride a bike. Okay, so... okay, that's one thing.
Sige.
Strive to know as early as you can kung sino ka. I'm not saying limit yourself din. Though, kasi, siyempre, how else are you gonna grow as a person? Pero, the things you find yourself thriving in, mas galingan mo pa dun. Parang ganun. So you can, kasi alam mo na, ito yung strength mo. And another thing is you never compare yourself to anyone. Siguro kasi...
Ang hirap nun.
Talaga, alam mo, sorry, ang lagi yung tinatanong din sa akin. Parang, most of my followers are men. Like, apparently, according to Instagram, 92%. But the few women, siguro I've been asked twice or thrice, parang, Miss Nikki, how do you not compare yourself to anyone?
Paano nga ba?
Hindi lang in terms of itsura, but in terms of accomplishments, in terms of where you are as compared to where they are. ano kasi, huwag mong iisipin na, wala akong pakialam sa'yo. Okay.
Grabe.
I was the nerdy kid at school. Wala akong barkada.
Gets.
I had no orgs sa college. Not a single one. I was a
Hindi
loner.
ka man lang nag-try mag-join.
Kasi parang I never cared much what other people thought of me. So,
Okay.
ganon. Parang I just make sure when I look at the mirror, I like who I see. Like, I'm not talking about yung itsura, but that also helps. So, if you gotta learn to be comfortable sa itsura mo at sa kakayahan mo. Kumbaga, if you look at yourself and you think, parang mas gusto ko pang pumayat, you work towards it. Para kung if you look at yourself and naisip mo, you know what, I love my flaws, maganda rin yun. Get? So parang either way, you just have to be comfortable and you have to love yourself. Kasi pag gusto mo yung, hindi naman pero you're very okay with who you are. Hindi ka magko-compare sa iba eh. Ako, I compare who I am now as to who I was before. Ang corny,
Okay.
diba, you read about it a lot sa mga quotes. Diba, don't compete with others. Compete with who you were. Because it's real. Talagang it's the best way to look at yourself. How to perceive growth. Sino ba ako noon? I was someone na tahimik, walang friends. Okay, I had friends, mga 2. So, wala talaga akong barkada.
Yung isa imaginary pa.
I had 2 friends in high school, 2 friends in college. Okay? So, pero pagdating ko naman sa job ko, I get to meet the biggest people. I get to have conversations with VP Lenny. Sa lahat ng tumakbong presidente, isa lang yung hindi ko nakausap. Alam niyo
Sino kaya yun?
Kung sino yun. Isa lang yung hindi ko. Alam mo yun? Pag nanalo. Anyway, diba? So, also, you have to, I would always put things into perspective every time na I feel at the back of the line. Like, nung bata ako, siyempre, di mo maiwasan. There are times na in every school, there are the popular ones. And there are the quiet ones. But I never much cared because I always thought, you know what, this is not the avenue for that. And you only ever care for fame if it heavily dependent yung career mo doon. For example, if I was an artista, I should care about bakit
fame.
Yeah. Kasi talaga namang kasama yon sa trabaho ko. Being known.
Self-promotion.
Self-promotion. So, ganun yun. I-weigh mo yun. Yung heartbreak mo ba over someone being better than you has grounds? Kasi, kung meron din, baka kailangan i-determine sa sarili mo.
Napapansin ko very parang very cerebral and analytic pagdating sa buhay.
Kasi parang pag nagpairal ka ng emotions, ang hirap.
Teka lang, wait, sandali. So, pag sinabi mong wala akong pake sa kanila, wala akong pake sa mga tao, tapos sasabihin mo ngayon na wag pairalin ng emotions. Parang ang iisipin ng mga nakikinig, tao ba si Nikki de Guzman?
I met
robot,
someone before.
Android.
I was having lunch with him. Tapos sabi niya, sorry, I just gotta put this out there. You are the most unique person I've ever talked to. So sabi ko, is that a compliment?
So, ba't ganon? Kasi nga, well, to a certain extent, you are unique kasi nga, hindi naman lahat ng tao can just, alienate themselves from their emotions or be this objective in trying to understand who they are in relation.
Don't get me wrong, grabe ka, hindi naman ako halaman.
Hindi, yun nga eh. Pero again, coming from an outsider's perspective and hearing what you just said, isipin na, ang robot, ang halaman naman.
Oh, ito yung
ang
third
lamig
na,
naman
ito yung third na
okay.
na-realize ko. Parang, we all have limited time kasi it sounds very, what's the term? Stoic? Na, wag mong-
I think that's the word.
yeah.
You,
Okay.
kasi, again, coming from a philosophy background, may
Diba?
pagka-stoic ka.
Kasi, okay, pangit man pakinggan. A lot of people might frown when you hear this, but what are we but specks of dust in the entirety of the universe? Yung oras mo yan. Hindi yan oras ng ibang tao. Baga, my favorite quote in the entire world is from Gandalf the Grey, Fellowship of the Ring. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Kasi, alam mo yun, kaya siguro ako, the moment I feel disappointed, I feel sad, you know what? Ganon eh. Ganon. That's how I approach. You know what? Ganon eh. Okay, gotta move on. Ganon. Of course, you feel it. You're human. Diba? Pero, gusto mo ba yun na lagi kang malungkot?
Ganun ka lang.
Na oo. Siyempre, mahirap, madaling sabihin. O, ganun na nga. Madaling sabihin, mahirap gawin, but you can't start somewhere, right? More than focusing on a goal, you focus na lang on the path, or at the very least, the step in front of you. So, yun lang naman yung makita mo eh. Diba? If you focus on one goal, for example, kailangan...
Ang lalim naman ni
kailangan makapag-TV patrol ako balang araw. Masisira ang buhay ko pag hindi ko nagawa yun. Diba? So you don't focus on the goal, you focus on the path. And my path is being good at newscasting. So every year, every month, every day, we try to be a little better at it. Ganun lang. One step at a time.
Baby steps. Yun. So,
grabe, puro ano naman tong interview mo? Puro life.
Kwentuhang Pilosopo.
I know.
And kanina kinote mo si Gandalf the Grey, no? And I don't think it's a secret to anyone who watches the news. Pag nakita nila yung background mo na merong mapa ng Middle Earth at andun si Sauron sa likod, no? At merong sketch ba yan?
It's an original art by Bobby Amor
ng Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it was a gift.
So where, again, di ba, the proverbial question for Miss Nikki de Guzman, saan ba nanggaling itong obsession mo with Tolkien?
Looking for a podcast on TV and movie discussions? Try Review. Catch new episodes every Saturday, 6 p.m. on your favorite podcast streaming platform. I'm your boy Wesley. Don't forget to smile today, and see you in the next review.
It was not with Tolkien. Okay. It was growing up. I like all things medieval. Kasi I like how simple things were. Hindi naman sa
anti-social.
Ganito.
Simple and deadly.
And not at all hygienic. Pero
oo nga, inisip ko.
Okay, but kasi ayoko na, sobrang mahina sa technology na person. And I would actually like a world na walang social media. Pero siyempre, ayaw mo magpahuli. That's why, if you can't beat them, join them. Pero, ayun. Basta, I like medieval, I like the medieval era. I like weapons. Wait lang. Taas ko. Ikita niyo ba yan? That's a tapestry.
Oh my God.
And I have lots of steel swords. Yeah. Yan ang mga luho ko sa buhay.
Kasing lamig ng bakal ang puso ni Miss Nikki.
So, wala akong ibang luho sa life. Hindi ako ma-fashion, ma-shoes, ma-bags. So, and I do my own makeup. I do my own hair. So, dyan ko binubuhos lahat. Sa toys, sa movie props, sa fandoms ko. Kasi nga, when you're alone, when you're alone, even back when I was a kid, I like books, I like movies. So doon talaga, my fandoms make up so much of who I am. Ganon.
Mm.
Tapos, ang unang nanood ng Lord of the Rings was my brother. Sabi niya, and we were kids, so mababaw pa kami. He was like, Achi, panoorin mo to kasi ang ganda ng laban.
Okay, yung
Ganon
laban.
kababaw. Ganda ng laban.
Oo, maganda naman
So,
talaga.
sabi ko, sige nga, pinanood ko, and I watched it alone. Mag-isa ako, so I really put an effort to understanding what was happening. Tapos sabi ko, ang ganda ng kwento. Tapos yung feeling na right after the film, you wanna watch it again. So, what happened was, every year talaga, pinapanood ko ulit yung
Naulit mo.
trilogy. It's like, unless, if you don't, Sauron wins. Pero, ganun. Talagang memorize ko yung film by heart. I have it on my iPad, so I carry it with me everywhere I go. Ganun ko siya minahal ng sobra, the fandom. Because, ayun, marami siyang sinasabi about life. Tolkien was a Christian.
Yeah.
Very much, diba? Tapos marami siyang allegories sa Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And this isn't a Lord of the Rings podcast, so ayoko nang mabore yung audience. I will not talk about extensively. Don't worry. Pero yung meron kaming Philippine Tolkien Society, for those of you na fans of Lord of the Rings na Filipino, you can join this group. Nakakatawa. Very recently, may nag-post na bagong member ng screenshot ng newscast ko. Sabi niya, guys, do you know this news anchor? Apparently, she's one of us. Tapos, nag-comment yung mga member ng group namin. Nandito po siya sa group na to, sir. Tapos, tinag ako. Siya po si Mary Nicole D. Somixma, yung Facebook name. More commonly known as Nikki de Guzman. Tawang-tawa ako. So, hi, may gumanyan. I speak Elvish.
Wow!
Ayun.
So itong Lord of the Rings and your fascination with medieval, the medieval era in general.
Yes.
Ano ang kinalaman niyan sa palagay mo dun sa personality mo?
Hindi naman ako, I have a lot of other fandoms naman. Although, I have an affinity towards medieval. Kaya pati sa video games, pati sa books, it's what I read, it's what I play. Console gamer ako. But then, I also have other fandoms, like superheroes.
Sino favorite superhero mo?
DC, Marvel, Batman.
Batman.
Pinnacle of human strength and capacity.
Wow. So ano ang favorite graphic novel mo? Na Batman, na kwento.
Not Batman Kingdom Come. I like that take.
Pati yung art.
Yes, no? Of course.
Alex Ross.
Different levels si Alex Ross. Like, many artists will come after him that will have similar styles, but there's always ever gonna be one Alex Ross lang. Yeah.
Kingdom Come.
Okay, how does it translate? Sa newscasting in general or my
Hindi sa pagkatao, parang
sa pagkatao
sa pagkatao kasi mas tingin ko yung mga taong nakikinig ngayon, mas interesado na sila ngayon sa pagkatao mo eh. Kasi parang
actually,
medyo weird tong tao to, pero parang interesado akong malaman ano ba paano ba mabuhay to?
Okay. Oo, yun. I get that question na paano ba mabuhay? Like, how's a day in Nikki de Guzman's life? Parang laging tinatanong niya na gawa daw ako ng, what's that, vlog? Ganon? About a day in my life. So, you get bored. It's me picking a movie to watch, picking something to read. Okay, how does it translate? Well, ganito galing kasi ako sa high school. Ayoko namang siraan. Very privileged ang mga tao. And,
actually, alam ko yan.
Konti lang.
Alam mo kung bakit? Sabi nung pinsan ko, naging student ka niya.
Which pinsan?
Off-cam na lang. Off-cam na lang.
But yeah, I think I kind of stood out because I came from a family na walang business at all. Stuff like that. And yun nga, I just didn't connect with a lot of people when you're part of a fandom. Kahit pa hindi rin ako ganun ka into the community of the fandom. It's like you're part of a totally different world and you
Yeah.
get lost in it. Ayun.
Mm.
Kaya dun talaga ako. That's my life. My gosh, if you had met me in high school, I was 10 times weirder than how I am now. I have adjusted as a human being to
Ano,
this. Ganon.
sige. Balik tayo ng high school kasi baka baka may mga nakikinig na kabataan dito na shares, no? Similar experiences with you, although I highly doubt it, no? Kasi kakaiba ka nga no? Pero yung tanong, siguro first question, did you experience any sort of bullying for
Bullying.
being different or
Not
marginalization?
not bullying per se. Kasi I was the kind who
Stood up.
Yeah, I always fight back. Parang you can't say anything bad about me, lalo na to my face, because I confront you about it. But ramdam mo na nilalayuan ka. Ganon. Tapos, this one's a sad reality of life. I didn't put any effort into how I looked then. So I looked like your typical sleep-deprived 15-year-old Chinese kid. Yun,
Okay.
with glasses. Kasi 900 ang grado ng high school. I just wear contact lenses right now. But for the entirety of my
900! Oh my God.
Yeah, nung student ako, high school, I usually wear glasses, grade school. Tapos, hindi naman, pero yeah, I was totally avoided. And then, ganun ako. So parang, you have a choice eh. Do you accept na this is gonna be me forever? People are going to be avoiding me and I'm going to be okay with it. Okay lang din yun. Or you can take the other route, which is to better yourself so you can better adjust to other people, but not in a way na you lose yourself. Diba? Make sure you're just bettering yourself. You're not trying to be anyone else. So what I did was, okay, nag-aral ako ng makeup as young as that. So, which is why naging makeup artist ako. And I got to make a lot of money out of it. Uy, wag ka. One session ng makeup artist. At the lowest, yung rate niya, 3K to 5K. That's for one day. Wow. So parang, imagine how much money I save by being able to do it myself.
Oo nga.
Ganon. So, inaral ko talaga yan. Parang, I looked at it and the first thing I did was I watched a makeup artist do her thing on my mom. Tapos sabi ko, is this something I could do? And I figured, yeah, I can. Yun. Tatanong mo lang sarili mo, kaya mo ba to?
Subukan lang. Right. So, again, interested kami sa buhay mo, no? So, would you say na yung pagiging stoic mo, diba? Yung pagiging, kasi ang motto
can I just say na parang sumuwak tuloy sa Pilosopo. Sa philosophy team mo. Kasi naging napaka-stoic ng tao ko.
Ganun talaga.
Let's pick her brain. Ganun.
Yeah, oo.
Okay.
Kahit sinong guest ko, parang nauuwi-uwi pa rin dyan sa mga philosophical themes.
Yes.
Kasi yun ang theme natin eh.
Ganun naman talaga eh. I always think
sa huli naman.
Dapat at some point, you reflect on what's life. Diba? But at some points, everyone has to reflect on what is life, what is happiness for you, what is, you have limited time.
Yeah. And the thing is, diba, and I always tell this to my students, you can't force reflection. Something has to happen. An anomaly, no, an extraordinary event that kind of changes the trajectory of your expectations. Tapos doon mo mapapansin, nasan ako, sino ako, anong ginagawa ko, bakit ako nandito. No? Let's say a death of a loved one, no? Someone very close to you, or losing money, di ba? Lahat binigay mo sa negosyo, tapos biglang nawala o nasunugan ka, di ba? Or it can be a joyous event, even a wedding or a birthday. Di ba? Yung parang kinakantahan ka ng happy birthday, tapos sa kalagitnaan, inisip mo, I'm 1 year closer to my death and everyone in this room will eventually die. Di ba? Yung parang ang daming pangyayari sa buhay ng tao na kung bibigyan mo ng pansin, no? Kung mananahimik ka sandali, no? Titignan mo, nanamnamin mo yung sandali, ay punong-puno no ng insights at pagmumuni na yung ibang tao they totally avoid
almost
it kasi
everything is.
yeah, 'di ba? They try to avoid it, run away from these moments kasi alam nila na pagka quote unquote nilamon sila nung sandali, hindi na sila the same person. And maybe they like who they are kasi sila yung tipo ng tao ng dire-diretso lang, gawa lang ng gawa. Bahala na, no? Pero yung mga taong, yung mga taong nai-inlove din sa pamimilosopiya o kagaya mo, halimbawa na, hindi kasi at a very young age, kasi you're only 24, no? Pero when you talk, 25, okay. Kasi when you talk, yung parang ano ka na eh, veterano ka na sa buhay. Parang ang dami mo na, gaya ng kinwento mo kanina, ang dami mo nang napagdaan.
Parang ang dami ko nang pinagdaanan, ang dami ko na na-realize.
Oh, di ba? Kahit hindi ka lumalabas ng bahay, ang dami mo napagdaan.
Parang ang dami ko nang naging experience.
Oo, di ba? So, di ba, yung itong mga bagay na ito na tumitisod sa atin, no? Na nagpapadapa sa atin, blessings din yan talaga, no? Kasi kung hindi nangyari yung mga yan, hindi mo mapapansin at hindi ka magtatanong, no? Ano ba
Hindi mo
talaga?
ipupush yung sarili.
Ano ba dapat ko gawin talaga?
Yan what they say na if the situation doesn't change, it means the situation is trying to change you.
Yes, exactly, no. So, ito Nikki, yung tanong ng marami na how do you compose yourself and be okay?
Anong compose?
Compose yourself, yung parang yung
how do I
chill.
stay okay?
Stay okay.
Okay.
Given the state of affairs now in the world, in the Philippines.
In the
kasi,
world, in my personal life.
kasi ang daming nangyayari at ang dami kong naririnig sa school.
Tell you something muna about
sige.
My personal life. My mom has a type of cancer na recurs.
I'm sorry.
And she has been in the hospital for 2 months now. And this has been her 3rd operation na. Pero for this major operation, makaka-8 balik na siya sa OR. And
oh my
mga
God.
ganyang bagay. Diba? And how do I stay?
Yes,
diba?
Exactly. Diba?
Tapos, okay, balik naman tayo kunyari sa pandemic. It's 2020, pandemic hit. I was the breadwinner of our entire family kasi my dad lost his jobs kasi company doctor siya. All the companies he was working in closed down. All of them. My life savings were down to 0 kasi I had to provide. Tapos, nag-shutdown ng ABS during the same time. I was earning about a quarter of what I used to earn. But I stayed in ABS. But then, you always have to realize things never stay the way they are, no matter how bad. At some point, magbabago yung sitwasyon and you gotta change with it. So what I did was, concerning my job, a rival station was asking me na lumipat, better pay. What I did was, gusto kong mag-stay sa ABS kasi, one, you feel like you're not just keeping a job, it's like you're being part of you're making a stand by being with ABS, you're making a stand by being a journalist.
Yeah.
Diba? So I wanted to stay in this industry and I wanted to stay in this company that gave me a chance kahit, alam mo na, kahit fresh grad ako. So what I did was, lumapit ako sa boss ko and I told her na I would like to be given more workload, to be trusted with more. If you could give that to me. Sabi ko, I'm being offered a different position in a different company. But I would very much want to stay here. But I'm also taking into consideration how my family and I are.
Yeah.
rough situation right now.
Yes.
So yun. And then I got I got promoted, more jobs. They trusted me with more. So now I have my own show, and I get to choose who I interview every day. So I get to, mga ganon. And then the things you cannot control, doon naman tayo. So you have to be able to know, to ano ba? To decipher which things in life you have control of and which things you don't. The thing with my mom, di ba? I don't have any control over that. Ganun yun eh. It's a rare genetic form of cancer. It does not respond to any form of treatment, to chemo, to radiation, to the point na naging case study siya for different hospitals.
Pwede bang malaman kung ano yung tawag doon sa...
It's chondrosarcoma. Here's the thing. It's actually pretty easy to treat if kung hindi lang doon minalas yung area. For example, you have bone lumps. You have lumps of bone sa body. And even if you have it removed, it's gonna grow back. It's gonna grow back. Ganun lang. So the only treatment is surgery. Most of my other relatives have it on their limbs, which is pretty easy. Pag tumubo dito, tapyas. Pag tumubo sa legs, tapyas. My mom was hit sa pelvic area. So as it grew, it was crushing all her organs inside. So yun.
Oh my God.
This is not something you can control. Ibig sabihin, malas yung tama sa kanya. Diba? Sa tita ko, mas okay. Sa kanya, hindi. So what do you do? Diba? Siyempre, sad ka. Malamang.
Yeah.
But this is not something you can control. So, you make the most out of it. What is life if you do not live for other people? I say that it's parang we have limited time in the world. You can either you can make yourself happy, and you can make the world, or at least the world of those people you love, a little better by being in it, by being kind to them. So, yun, you help your mom as much as you can. You be there for her, and you don't think about kung anong situation na nandun kayo. Right now, we found a solution. They removed most of her pelvis. So, and they had to remove most of her organs as well. So she doesn't have an intestine anymore. She doesn't have a bladder. She doesn't have a uterus. She doesn't have, basta, everything in the abdominal cavity. Wala na. It's gonna be a hard life for all of us kasi as soon as she gets out of the hospital, which hindi pa, I'm still praying for that day to come kasi it's been 2 months. But yeah, it'll be a life na super iba from what we're used to. But heck, you gotta roll with the punches, diba? What are you gonna do? You're gonna stay stagnant, diba? So, ganon. I think that's one of the most important life skills. You have to know which things you have control of and which things you don't have control of. Yun lang. And then the ones you can control, you do your best in making the situation better. The ones you cannot control, you do your best in how you react to them. Yeah.
Yes.
Boom.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Just check the time. Oh.
I think yung story na binahagi mo about your mom, etc. is something na, again, makakatulong sa maraming nakikinig na baka may similar na pinagdadaanan. And ako rin, no, I was, okay, ngayon ko lang to i-aaminin sa podcast, no. I've made an intentional decision on my part na not to be too close or sweet to my parents because one of my worst fears is to lose them.
Sure.
So hiwalay na sila, no? Maghiwalay na sila. And yung tatay ko, medyo marami na ring sakit. No? Dinala ko lang siya sa hospital 2 weeks ago. Kasi may diabetes siya, etc. And yung tatay ko yung maano pa mayaka pa. Alam mo yan, yung mas-sweet na tatay. Pero marami rin kaming issues growing up. No? Pero alam mo yung parang, kasi medyo matanda na rin siya, na gusto mong lumapit sa kanya at the same time ayaw. Alam mo yun? Kasi, alam mo yun, parang feeling mo hindi mo kakayanin.
Oo naman. Pag masyado kang attached
Oo.
to someone. Kasi even me and your parents, minsan, di ba? Alam to ng mga magjowa dyan, di ba? Heartbreak sells, di ba? Sa movie, sa ano. So yun, the more you're attached to something, someone, diba? To an outcome, to a future, mas heartbreak.
Kasi at the same time, iniisip mo rin yung guilt na when that day comes na parang you have been given the time to be closer, to express your feelings, etc. Pero hindi mo naman ginawa dahil nga natatakot ka mawala yung tao. So parang I'm always in that space, no? And yun, salamat sa pagbabahagi mo dahil again, nabuksan ulit siyang issue sa akin na something that I personally have to resolve, no? Kasi nga they're not getting any younger, you know, and my sister's in the States, I'm the only one here. And yun, idol kita. You know, sa may, hindi, I mean, seryoso, mamatay man. Nakikinig ako sa'yo.
Grabe.
Hindi idol na parang sinasamba, no? Pero idol kita.
Mamatay man.
Oo. Hindi totoo nga. Kasi honestly, it's very rare na, alam mo, madaling sabihin yung mga bagay na sinasabi mo kanina na parang nagko-quote-quote ka ng mga kung ano-ano. Pero after you shared what you have gone through, no, after you've shared about what you're still going through.
It always makes everything different when you have the context of a background.
Yes.
Someone's first.
Diba? Na parang putya, hindi lang to salita, ginagawa niya. Pinaninindigan niya yung mga advice na binibigay niya kanina. Tapos malaman mo, oh my God, this is really happening to her. She lost all her savings, diba? But she still wanted to be loyal to the company. Diba? Parang, you know, this is a person of principle. This is a person who is really strong, no? Parang not everyone has the constitution to remain whole, given everything that is happening in your life right now, and still be grateful, di ba, for the opportunities, etc.
Yeah.
So parang napaka Lord of the Rings mo talaga. Alam mo yan, gets ko na yun.
Tino mo si Frodo, hindi mo niya ginusto lahat yun. Diba?
Tama.
Well, the ring has come to me.
Yes.
Tama. I wish it never came to me. Sabi yun kay Gandalf. Kasi nga, sabi ni Gandalf, so do all who live in such times. Diba? Who wants bad stuff to happen? No one. But, sabi nga ni Gandalf, so do all. It means, hindi lang naman ikaw ang pinagdadaanan. Hindi lang ikaw ang na-heartbroken. Hindi lang ikaw ang nawalan ng parent. Hindi naman ikaw, happens to everybody.
Happens
to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yung COVID, hindi lang naman ikaw ang tinamaan ng COVID. Oh, dagdag pa pala. My parents currently have COVID right now in the hospital ward. So,
oh my God.
So that set her back. So,
oh my God. Pati dad mo, wala namang comorbidities yung dad mo?
Pareha sila may comorbidities, pero
okay naman sila ngayon.
Yeah.
So, hindi mo sila pwede bisitahin ngayon?
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a long time.
Oh my God.
Kasi nga may COVID sila. Yeah.
Ay, nako. Yun nga, tama. Ang ganda ng motto.
Diba sabi ko sa'yo, wala eh. Ayun eh.
Oh my God. Parang roll with the punches lang talaga.
Yes.
Yan, di ba? Wag ka lang basta humiga at sumuko. Andyan na yan eh. Di ba?
Kasi nga, know what you really want out of life. Parang, is it money? Is it happiness? Is it fulfillment? Ganon.
Ano ang pakay mo?
Oo. Kasi very a lot of people,
Aristotelian.
di ba? A lot of people equate money with success. I personally don't.
Yeah.
Parang I'm in an industry na isn't really known for being high paying. Of course, the biggest names, malamang. But diba, gano'n naman, lahat naman ng industry, only the biggest names. Lot. I'm for stability. I'm for learning something new every day. And what better industry if not in news where it's new every day, diba?
Yeah. All right. Oh my God, what a heavy at the same time. Di ba? Mabigat yung episode natin.
Di nyo in-expect yun.
Kasi parang this is our first real conversation kasi we've
I'm a
only
very private person. And I
Yeah.
don't post these things. Pero okay lang. I mean, you know what? It's my life story. It's not like it's not like a chismis could be used against me. It's something a story of my life that could maybe even impart a lesson and
Exactly.
make someone better, make someone else better.
Sigurado ako dyan. Sigurado ako dyan.
So.
Ako personally was inspired. You know?
Oops.
Hindi to bola, no? May mga nakakausap akong tao malalapit sa akin na parang okay, 'di ba? Conversations, blah blah blah. Pero bihira yung nagsasalita kahit first time mo makausap na dahil alam mong totoo at nanggagaling, nakaugat sa talagang nangyayari yung sinasabi niya. Dinadala ka niya dun sa mundo niya, no? Yung again, the storytelling, the way you tell your story. Dinadala mo ako sa mundo mo and I'm trying to observe all of these, all this chaos that is happening. Diba? Kasi,
it's a very chaotic life.
Pero,
talaga,
again,
I'm just trying to balance everything.
Yeah. But the Stoic, diba? The Stoic, laging sasabihin, si Seneca, diba? Si Seneca, si Marcus Aurelius, laging sasabihin, gumuho na ang mundo, mananatili pa rin akong buo.
Yes.
Yan.
Sobrang totoo yan.
Yan ang sana mabasa mo rin yan, yung meditations ni Marcus Aurelius, no? Tsaka Letters to a Stoic ni Seneca. Kung hindi mo pa nababasa, meron, alam mo yung sa fully booked yung mga penguin na maninipis na iba-iba yung kulay ng spine?
Oh yeah. Meron
ganun.
ako kaso akin Art of War.
Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu.
Pero
Art of War,
ang daming filo doon. At kahit di ka philo major, very philosophical ka eh. No, natutuwa ako na nagkaroon tayo ng guest na
I wish people wouldn't judge me on surface.
Oo naman.
I experienced that a lot my first few years, first few months sa ANC. You don't know me.
Kaya you should do more of these things. Para mas makilala ka ng mga tao and really ma-appreciate nila yung lalim. Diba?
Kasi lalim ng aking pagkatao.
Kasi minsan pag nanonood sila, oy, cute. Diba? Cute na newscaster, nagsasalita, okay, blah, blah, blah. Anong suot niya ngayon? Yung ganda ng makeup niya. Yun lang diba?
It's a very visual world.
Yes. No? Pero again, words, conversations have a different way of showing you the person. Diba? And salamat, no? On behalf of the production team, Pipe Network, maraming salamat, Miss Nikki de Guzman, para dito sa isang oras nating pag-uusap. Hindi ko alam, no? Parang walang i-edit dito, walang itatapon. Lahat ay makabuluhan. Lahat makabuluhan. Lahat ay may matututunan, no? So sa mga Philo Peeps, maraming salamat sa inyong pakikinig. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Kwentuhang Pilosopo with Sir Ice, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. No? Any last words, Nikki, for your fans na gusto mo sumubaybay sa social media o sa TV?
Naman last words.
Sorry. Parting words.
Parting message.
For the show.
Kasi ang lupot na nga ng ating,
napunta
took a
tayo sa
turn
last
for
words.
the
Okay, sorry.
Wala. Okay. If you want to watch, you should watch more news. But if you want to watch me in particular, deliver it at 7 to 8 a.m. sa ANC. And then 2 to 6 p.m. sa DZMM, Teleradyo, that's Tagalog. Gusto nyo ako marinig. Matatas din ako mag-Tagalog. Hindi naman talaga ako Englishera eh. Kataon lang din. I just don't have any difficulty switching, you know. Pero so DZMM, that's 2 to 6, pero flash reports on the top of every hour. Ganun. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Saturdays, it's 2 and 4 lang na newscasts din. And then I also do a show called Rev. Kaso that's a lifestyle show for ANC. So it's not fixed, but usually it airs every Thursday. It's if you want to see collectibles, parang it's a show on all things that guys collect. So mostly it's cars, but someone else does the car part of the show, and then I do anything that has to do with collectibles. So sneakers, watches, toys, diba?
Oh my God, that's me.
Diba? May art, there's anything na guys collect. So if you're interested in that,
yeah. Thank you, Nikki. No? Maraming salamat sa pagbabahagi, and on behalf of everyone, you know, dito sa Pipe, we're praying for your parents, especially
thank you so much.
Especially your mom and you and your brother, no, na malampasan ito, no, itong pinagdadaanan ninyo, no? So, thank you, Philo Peeps, for listening. Bye-bye.
Ang Kwentuhang Pilosopo with Sir Ice ay produced ni Johan Arceo, Joanna Esquivias, Ryan Anthony Racela, at Cholo Sediare. Executive produced ni GP Abrahano, Drean Deocampo, at YB Wesley. Boses sa intro ni Joe Napakulan, at special participation ni Rene Liboro. Ang Kwentuhang Pilosopo with Sir Ice ay isang original mula sa Pipe Network.